how many were vetted before they got on the plane by American officials?
To the United States, it is our policy to vet and screen 100% of them.
So 100% of those people that got on the plane were vetted. That's your testimony under oath?
It is our policy to do so.
That's not, I don't care what your policy is. I'm asking how many people were vetted before they got on the plane. Do you know the answer?
Senator?
If you don't know, just say I don't know.
Hey, welcome back, guys, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unreasonable Clout Podcast. Now, we're going to do a couple follow-up videos to some previous videos, but let's go into the breaking news, too, as well, about the D.C. shooter. Now, this guy, we like to call him Ramen Noodle. He shot 2 National Guards members. One is in critical condition for as far as I know. I still have to do some research on that. But Trump has confirmed the death of Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. Let's go ahead and get into the comment and actually the response that he had to say.
Millions of Americans are praying for those heroes and their families. And I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead. She's not with us. Incredible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. That's horrible.
Now, the Republicans been scrutinizing the left simply because I personally think people, radical leftists, such as the likes of Don Lemon, you can see his interviews, you can search it up. He's actually encouraging citizens to bear arms against these unlawful raids, so he wants to call them. But they don't know the extensive investigations that they have to do to actually catch these illegal immigrants. And if there's other illegals with them, of course, they got to get the hell up out of here too. So let's read this. So the Republicans have heavily criticized Democrats, particularly on X, for their past comments regarding the National Guard and immigration, demonizing the National Guard. The White House Rapid Response Team and other Republican figures accused Democrats of relentlessly demonizing the National Guard in the months prior to the shooting, arguing this rhetoric contributed to the climate where such an attack can occur. Now, the immigration policy blame. Following the identification of the suspect, Ramen Noodle, an Afghan national who entered the U.S. under a Biden-era asylum program and was later granted asylum under the Trump administration. Now, let me give some clarity and some context to that. Yes, it was true. His asylum was granted under the Trump administration, but that was in regards to hopefully being properly vetted. There was almost 80,000 of these refugees. I've heard numbers that were larger, closer to 100,000 of these Afghan refugees that came through after the destabilization in 2021 when we exited Afghanistan. We left billions of dollars of war equipment and all that there for the Taliban to play around with. Well, this is when these 80,000 some odd Afghan refugees came to seek asylum. Well, they were supposed to be here for 2 years. Now, such as this guy, Ramen Noodle, he was supposed to be here for 2 years, overstayed his visa, applied for asylum. And, it would take a long time if we have to go back and properly vet or thoroughly vet, all these 80,000 refugees, so to speak, from Afghanistan. We were just leaning on the fact that hopefully Biden vetted them like they said, and they were under testimony and also said that too as well. We could play a clip of that in a minute. But anyway, so I just wanted some clarity on that. Biden let this freaking demon inside this country and was able to shoot 2 National Guard members And now we're sitting here saying rest in peace to Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. That's crazy, man. Well, let's go ahead and read a comment from the likes of Hakeem Jeffries. Praying for the National Guard members wounded in this horrific shooting. Thankful for the brave law enforcement officers and first responders who swiftly apprehended the suspect. There is no place for violence in America. Yeah, whatever. Obama also too posted on X. Violence has no place in America. Michelle and I are praying for the service members shot in Washington, D.C. today. Send our love to their families as they enter this holiday season under the most tragic circumstances. Yeah. Keep that freaking energy, dude. How come you didn't have that energy prior to this incident? Now let's go into some people who have some better character in my perspective. You know, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, he posted on X, an American hero is at home with the Lord. Rest in peace, Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. May our nation kneel in prayer for her family. We'll go to another X post. This is Attorney General Pam Bondi. Devastated. Please pray for Sarah's family. America will never forget her courage. There will be justice for Sarah. Continue to pray for Andrew. Thank you to President Trump. The death penalty is back. Now, I would hope that the death penalty is back, especially in this incident. We're still waiting on the Charlie Kirk incident too as well to get cleared up. But I have my own opinion about Pam Bondi. That's neither here nor there. Maybe we'll do a separate episode in the future about her, but let's stick to this. Now, we could also go to something too as well. You know, we heard from those two people. We had FBI Director Kash Patel also had to say something on X. Judge Janine Pirro had something to say as well. I just want to leave space and time for us to really send a prayer. Send a prayer to the family of Alex Wolf and also to the family of Sarah Beckstrom. And may God please bring peace and comfort to their family in this time of need. Now, we learned some new info about Ramen Noodle. Now, we learned that he actually worked with the CIA and other government agencies while he was in Afghanistan. I think close to like 10 years. And he served in the Afghan army and fought alongside U.S. Special Forces against the Taliban. You know, now this is just a quick update and a follow-up to some of the new evidence that we found out about this guy. Now, I'm pretty sure I might be able to make another video because I think some more info is going to come out. But we'll save that for another day. Now, let's get into another story. Now, for another story that we have that goes side by side with this, we have another story too as well after this. They all go side by side with each other. Now, this one is about Trump talking about reversing migration, specifically when it comes to these Afghan refugees and these other people that are seeking asylums and want to renew their visas type of stuff. So we're going to go straight to Trump's social media post on Truth, what he had to say. In a Truth social post on Thanksgiving evening, Donald Trump wrote, "Even as we have progressed technologically, immigration policy has eroded those gains and living conditions for many. I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover. Terminate all of the millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen." That's another story. "And remove anyone who is not a net asset in the United States or is incapable of loving our country. End all federal governments and subsidies to non-citizens of our country. Denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility. And deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or non-compatible with Western civilization." He also added, "These goals will be pursued with the aim of achieving a major reduction in illegal and disruptive populations, including those admitted through an unauthorized and illegal auto pen approval process. Only reverse migration can fully cure this situation." Now, this is what this is an analogy that I think of when I read these words and when I hear them. It's like you have a leaky water system. You find a bursted pipe, a leaking pipe. Now you have to stop the leak first, right? To fix the whole problem. So these immigrants, they're causing a lot of leaks in the system. Now we got to patch this thing up. If not, then the whole system is just going to come crashing down and everything will get flooded with tyranny. Man, this is crazy. All right, so you know what? I want to get into a clip. Trump actually, I commend him. I wouldn't have answered a stupid question like this. But this goes to show you how likable Trump is. He just gets straight to the point, and he has the courage, so to speak, of addressing this fake news media straight to their face when they ask stupid questions. Let's get into that clip.
DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful. And if you look, you'll see there was a law passed. It makes it almost impossible not to let them in, not to certify them, so to speak, once they come in. And they came in, and they shouldn't have come in. And frankly, the whole thing was a mess. The whole Afghanistan situation was a mess. It should have never taken place.
Now you see exactly why people like I support the president so much. He has the courage to actually face the media and really reprimand them for asking such a stupid question. She didn't even have to ask that question if she would have just did her research. Biden let this guy in, plain and simple. Now let me just say one thing really fast, and we're gonna go into another story. So to add to this, 45% of all Afghan households receive SNAP benefits. 42% of all Somali households receive SNAP benefits. And you got to remember, Trump stopped the TPS, the temporary protective status, when it comes to these Somalis. And it's getting crazy. Another thing to add too as well is that, well, you know what? I'll save that for the next video. So let's go ahead and go straight into the next story. So this other story that we got, we're still on the lines of reversing the immigration. Now we've seen what Trump had to say and what he's going to do when it came to this Afghan immigrants. So let's get into another fact. Like I said in the last video, 45% of all Afghan households receive SNAP benefits. 42% of Somalis households receive SNAP benefits. Come on now, like how much free taxpayers' money are we gonna funnel to these freaking immigrants, man? Come on now, it's getting frustrating. And now you know he already stopped the TPS, the temporary protective status, when it came to Somalis, because we found a lot of fraud, specifically in Minnesota. That's where it was concentrated at. You know, that's what it has the highest population of Somalis right there in Minneapolis, especially. But the whole state of Minnesota, Tampon Tim's running it. He's not doing a thing about it. Just put it that way. Now, immigrants only pay about 17% in taxes out of all the resources that they suck from this economy. You know, Minnesota Somali community, they committed a lot of fraud. Now we talked about the welfare fraud. We talked about the housing fraud, how the failed mayoral candidate, what was his name? Omar Fateh. And also, you know, he was trying to funnel money and expedite taxpayers' money to his wife's medical company. And obviously that was illegal. And we have people the likes of Omar, or what's her name? Ilhan Omar, whatever the heck her freaking stupid name is. I can't even remember all these illegal immigrants' names, dude. We got Ramen Noodle, we got Fateh, we got Ilhan Omar. You know, it's freaking crazy. But anyway, these are all part of her constituents because it's focused in Minnesota. And Tampon Tim, he's running it straight to the dirt. He's not doing a thing about it. But something else that was found out is that Minnesota Somali community committed fraud by falsely diagnosing children with autism through Medicaid. Now that's crazy. To funnel the money, the extent that these immigrants go to funnel money to these terrorist groups, which is Al-Shabaab, over there in their homeland in Somalia, it's ridiculous. How much longer are we going to sit here and just actually pay our hard-earned working money to these Somali freaking immigrants so they could funnel to terror groups? Now, just a statistic, in 2018, this cost was only about $3 million when it came to this autism stuff. Now, in 2023, it spiked up to $399 million. Now, there's a lot of these autism centers popping up, and it's concentrated right there in Minnesota. So you can tell that there's something wrong with there. If you see the charts, I should have had a chart up here, but the charts are going crazy. The charts are skyrocketing. You know, in the same time period, autism centers skyrocketed from 41 centers to 328. Now that's from 2018 to 2023. What is that, 5 years? Now that's crazy, dude. So now you guys heard about these 3 stories. We have the DC shooter and all the new, as you can see, Ramen Noodle have all the new info about him working with the CIA while he was in the Afghan army fighting side by side with U.S. Special Forces, and how he was able to infiltrate this country and ultimately shoot these brave heroes right here. You know, we still have one in critical condition. We want to pray for Alex Wolf and his family. We also want to pray for the family of Sarah Beckstrom. You know, and please find time in your day or night to pray for these families because they need comforting now. Just pray that God brings a peace over their lives in this special time that they need it, especially around the holidays. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. You guys could leave a comment below about the DC shooter and the new info out. Also, about this reverse immigration thing that we're talking about. When it came to Trump's truth post, talking about stopping the immigration from all third world countries to try to reverse and cure this immigration problem that we truly have. And then also, too, about, I want you guys to leave a comment about the Somali community, specifically in Minnesota, amping up the autism reports and diagnosis fraudulently just to funnel taxpayers' money. And I want you guys to comment below what you guys think about these 3 headlines that's going on in the news right now. Thank you for your time. God bless you guys. And until next time, this is Unreasonable Clout Podcast.